Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So, you haven't seen me for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 at this point, but I've not sat down to film in like a month, okay? It's been a while. We're just gonna be doing a good old-fashioned fat activism reaction today, just to get me back into the groove, but I have some very fun videos planned and scripted, so they're happening for you now. But first, you and me, we need to have a chat about how you can stay safe while browsing online, because data brokers are selling your data without your consent, and they're making billions off of it by selling it to scammers and even stalkers, okay? While they're legally required to remove your information if you ask, they make the process of doing that purposefully really difficult and really confusing in hopes that it will discourage you from asking in the first place, or it'll make you give up after asking. That is why I am here to tell you about today's video sponsor, Aura. Aura offers all-in-one digital security, so you may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door but leaving your back door open, and I care about you and your back door on this channel, okay? With Aura, you get alerts if your personal information has been found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, 24/7 monitoring to make sure that your personal information is being kept secure, and you also get a secure VPN, antivirus software, and a password manager, and US-based support that is operating 24/7 in case anything happens. And if anything does happen, Aura offers $5 million in identity theft insurance, and like I said, they have US-based support that is operating 24/7 to keep you protected and supported if you need it. I love Aura for their fraud alerts with credit and banking, because if you couldn't tell by the sheer amount of trinkets behind me, I do love a bit of online shopping, okay? And Aura makes me feel more secure in knowing that all of my online banking and credit information is protected. I also really love the VPN feature as well, because a VPN is oftentimes something you have to pay extra for, but Aura just includes it in their service. So if you want to give Aura a try for yourself, be sure to use the link down below in my description, or go to aura.com/MeganAnn. That's aura.com/MEGANANNE to try it for yourself free for 14 days. In those 2 weeks, you will learn where your data is being exposed and sold. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and neither should you. So again, if you want to give Aura a try for yourself, go to the link down below in my description, or go to aura.com/MeganAnn. That's aura.com/MEGANANNE. Thank you so much to Aura for continuing to sponsor my channel. And as always, thank you so much to you guys for continuing to interact with my content and with the brands, so that brands like Aura want to keep coming back and sponsoring me, because it truly helps me more than you will ever know. Thank you so much. Now let's just get back into the video. But just some general housekeeping first. Thank you so much for the positive feedback on the new digs here. Yes, I was keeping this cute setup from you for like a couple months, and I'm so sorry for that. But I'm so happy you all liked the new setup here. I'm still trying to figure out the focusing problems on my end, but we're getting there hopefully. So yeah. Secondly, this multicolored gemstone necklace that everybody is always so curious about when I wear it is from Swarovski, okay? I've been like hesitant to tell people because it is really expensive, okay? It is not a just like, hey, I'm gonna go buy this piece. I got this for myself when I hit 100,000 subscribers on here, because I felt like I deserved it, okay? And it reminds me of like a fancy candy necklace, and I love her. I have been seeing a lot more dupes coming out on the market of this, oddly enough, and so I will have the original one linked down below, but just know that there are like dupes coming out of it, so you do not need to spend the like $500-600 on it that I did, okay? Yeah, other than that, I'm filming this after the midterms in America. And can I just say thank you, New York, and thank you to the people of California for voting yes on Prop 50. Oh my God, being on social media during all of those results coming in was like the first time I have felt hope politically in America for a very long time. So I just wanted to acknowledge that here. Woke is back, okay? And if you missed my community tab post. My full-time job every year does a Thanksgiving drive or a Thanksgiving basket drive, which basically one basket is like one complete Thanksgiving meal for people in need of that through Volunteers of America. A coworker went in with me on one of them, but then also I did 4 more. We were able to give 5 families their Thanksgiving meals this year, which was super great. And I also just want to put out there too that given the state of literally everything happening in America right now, I am going to start doing monthly donations to food banks around Denver, and I would highly encourage anybody else who's able to do so, because I learned that because of the way food banks get their food, a monetary donation of like $1 equals anywhere from like $3 to $6 in terms of how much food they can buy with it. And so I'm going to be doing like a monthly donation of $100 for the foreseeable future, because people should be fed. Okay? People should be allowed to get food, and the government should not withhold their ability to do that. And also, I just want to say that I am able to sponsor another family. It's actually the same family that I sponsored last year. We've like remained friends for Christmas this year, and I'm so excited. And as always, I will keep you posted on that. And I'm not saying this to like prop myself up or anything like that. I just like, or to make myself seem better or anything. I just want to let you know this is what I'm doing, okay? And I have not filmed since SNAP benefits were taken away in America, and since I donated the Thanksgiving baskets and all of that. So I will come to you with receipts of all of these things when it's applicable. But yeah, I just wanted to like do some general housekeeping here and say, this is what I'm doing, because things suck in America. And if you are impacted by any of this, my heart truly goes out to you. And I am so sorry. I don't know what else to say other than I am so sorry that our government has failed you. And it would feel really just like everything's so heavy. And I'll have this time stamped out if you don't want to sit and listen to this, but like everything's so heavy right now in America. And I sometimes when I'm filming, whatever I'm talking about or whatever feels like very just like frivolous, but like I feel like by making content, I am then able to give back to my community and give back to people. And so that's kind of what keeps me going right now, quite frankly. And so I cannot thank you guys enough for continuing to watch my content and interact with my content and like sponsors and stuff like that, because it gives me the ability to give back in ways that I otherwise wouldn't be able to if I did not have this channel and the income that comes from it. And so, yeah, if you're not able to give back, just know that I am. And with the money that your views gives me, and I mean, yes, it does pay my bills. Like it does pay some of my bills. It pays a lot of my bills actually. And I would be remiss to not mention that, but like it does give me some extra income in the time when in this time where it really matters to give that back to the community, and to people who need it. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being able to do that every year, because every year since I've had my channel, I've done things like sponsor families for Christmas and stuff like that. But this year it just feels like really needed, and it makes me feel less helpless to be able to give back when I can and where I can. So I just wanted to put that out there and thank you all for voting in the midterm elections in New York City and in California, and in New Jersey and everywhere else where really cool things happened, and things that really made me feel a sense of hope for the first time in a really long time. And yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that because I'm filming after all of this has happened, and I would feel very weird if I didn't at least acknowledge the shit show that's happening right now. So yeah, other than that, we're just going to be doing a good old-fashioned TikTok reaction video today to get me back into the groove of things. And then after that, for the rest of this month, I have some very fun content planned for you, okay? You're finally going to get Kendra. You're finally going to get the Girl World catch up. I know those are supposed to come last month, but my mom visited and then I got sick. And so things just got pushed to the back burner. I'm also going to be doing a video before the Girl World catch up, a whole Rachel situation, because holy crap. Okay, we got to talk about that. I need to talk about that. So that'll be coming before Girl World catch up. Yeah, okay, let's just get into the rest of the video. Thank you for humoring me here.
Are you actually worried about becoming fat, or are you worried if you gain weight, you'll have to examine how you've been treating people in different body sizes while no longer being able to rely on your physical appearance as a supplement for your personality? Who said that?
So I included this one in here. I've had it saved for a while because I think it's kind of an interesting question, but also not at the same time. Because from the comments that I get on my videos a lot of the time, I think a lot of people are afraid of gaining weight just because of the difference in the lifestyle they'll have to live. I've talked about on my channel many times that I have regained some weight after my weight loss surgery that I had 6 years ago, and from the lowest that I ever got since after that. And now I'm at a point, and I have been at a point for the last like year or so, really being able to feel that regain again. And oh my God, it feels like shit, okay? It feels like shit. It doesn't feel good. And I have alluded to in past videos as well that I'm actually meeting with my doctor next week to talk about potentially going on a GLP-1 of some kind to help me snap my brain back into the habits that I once formed after I had surgery that I feel like I've kind of lost over the last couple years, because my life was like so out of control there for a while that I just feel like I need a medical tool to help me get back into that again. Like I said, a lot of people, when fat activists talk about people being afraid of gaining weight or getting bigger, a lot of times that fear comes from, like I said, the switch in lifestyle and the losing of certain abilities that they may have. And that I can 100% understand because, like I said, I have gained some weight back and I am feeling it and it does not feel good. That being said, I will say, as I have gained weight back after losing 115 pounds, and thinking I had it all figured out at that point, it has really caused me to re-examine the nuances in weight and the reasoning people may get to a certain size psychologically, because the reason I have gained the weight back is obviously I have been eating too much, right, and not moving enough. But also the reason I have been doing that is because emotionally, psychologically, my life has been completely out of control. And up until like April of this year. And that's a story that's not really mine to tell, but like it was, last year was like the hardest year of my adult life, and I gained a lot of weight during that year. And so, but being bigger again and being plus size, like truly plus size again, even at my lowest weight, I was like in the 190s, but I was thinner than I am now. And I'm definitely like still much smaller than I ever was at my biggest size. It has like made me think about the nuances in body size and like how you navigate the world and how people view you. Because I have started to experience again, like some of the more negative aspects of it. Even though I'm not even close to being above 300 pounds like I used to be before I had weight loss surgery. But like even where I'm at now, it's still like, whoa, people do treat us differently. And I think I'd kind of forgotten that like as I lost weight with my surgery and as I got smaller. And now that I'm kind of back bigger than I was before, I'm like realizing that again, and I'm noticing those things again. This is not me saying that I am back in the fat activism movement, okay? I know people have been concerned about that, but I promise you that I am still very much not for any of that. But like I've always been on this, I do understand where they're coming from with certain talking points. And I do think that gaining weight does make you realize like, oh, people do treat fat people differently or bigger people differently than they do skinny people or thinner people. And like, I've always known that, but I think I got used to being treated a certain way after I lost weight. And now that I've gained some back, I'm like, oh, here it goes again. But on the flip side of that, I have to kind of check myself, because I'm like, are people actually treating me differently, or am I just more insecure right now because I'm the biggest I've been since I've had surgery? And for a long time, in very formative years, I was fed the narrative that fat activists feed their audience about how society treats fat people. And am I just making it all up in my head? You know? So I do think not wanting to gain weight because you're afraid of certain abilities being taken away from you because you physically can't do them anymore, super valid. Also, I do understand that gaining weight does kind of force you to be like, oh, things are different, you know? And so I understand both of those sides of the argument, and I don't think one is like wrong and one's right. I think it's just two different viewpoints, you know? And yeah, I thought this was really interesting because it's something that I have been kind of thinking, I have been like noodling on in my own life for a little bit. And yeah, so
to live in a bigger body is to live in a body under surveillance. It's to be noticed if you lose or gain weight. It's to be congratulated for perceived weight loss beyond all your other life achievements. It's to have any lifestyle change met with a sigh of relief that finally you might become smaller. It's to be told making yourself smaller will solve all of your problems. It's to have the people who love you believe that they are doing the right thing to surveil you, believing it is a deep act of care. It's having people who hate you telling you you deserve to die. It's having comments about how you look and what you eat be an accepted part of your day-to-day life. And I'm not saying that other bodies don't get the scrutiny and surveillance, but we are taught that fat people owe their bodies to others. And we presume that they are aiming for weight loss above all else, beyond ever asking or checking. We don't know what someone is going through, and we don't know why their body might change. But what I know is that we don't owe an explanation about our bodies to anyone, and that they are not the property of others for them to comment and pass judgment on as they please.
First off, I think saying that fat people live under a constant state of surveillance is a tad dramatic. Judgment, maybe. Surveillance, I don't really understand that. But I guess if you want to be dramatic, maybe surveillance is the right word. But I think also in the big year of 2025, although I do think this was from last year, even still, in the big year of 2024 or 2025, saying that fat people specifically live under a state of surveillance, whack. Language matters. The words you choose matter in terms of what you're talking about, especially right now. And I say this in the context of like when people use the term consent. You could, but like I say, whenever anybody talks about things like this, is you can change your body size. Is it that easy? Does it change right overnight? No. Can you lose 100 pounds overnight? No. But you can change it. And if you don't like the feeling living as a bigger person, either physically, societally, or both, you can change it. It's not something that you have to just like deal with, right? In this video too, we do see the language of just referring to fat people as fat bodies. And this is only something I've kind of acknowledged a few times recently in videos, but is something that I have noticed for a very long time and has kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's like separating the person from their body. And I think there's a weird kind of objectification there that happens, if that makes sense. And it's like, no, fat people are just fat people. They're not living in a larger body. They're not fat bodies. They're just fat people. They're people. They're people, and that's what matters. I do understand that for fat people, a lot of people who are not fat look at them losing weight as like the magic bullet that will fix everything. How like it does seem like kind of like a sigh of relief for people who are like on the outside looking in of someone else's life when a fat person tries to lose weight or starts to lose weight or does lose weight. I understand that is annoying to kind of witness because I've been there. Or it's hard to not understand like why they're so relieved in the moment, because on the inside you're like, I'm still that person, you know. And it is hard, and I understand that because, like I said, I've been there. But at the end of the day, like, they just want, a lot of times if it's family members or whoever, they just want what's best for you, and they want you to be the version of you that you want to be, and they want you to be the happiest, healthiest version of you that you can be. And I think that's where the relief or happiness comes from. But I do understand maybe like the paranoia, I guess that might be a dramatic word, that comes from once you start losing weight or whatever as a fat person and you gain some back, that like you feel like you're gonna be judged because of that, because I have been feeling that for a very long time, okay? And I do worry, and I do have that in my mind when it comes to my friends and my family and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, you only know you and I only know me, and they only know a version of me that I present to them. And at the end of the day, we are so much more than our body size, right? And that is something that I agree with fat activists on wholeheartedly. But yeah, I think saying that fat people live in a constant state of surveillance is a bit dramatic. All of this goes back to, again, if you are unhappy living, feeling that way, you can change it. Does it suck that we feel like we have to change ourselves to like feel more accepted by society? Sure, I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's only going to help you to lose weight also, because I can attest it does wonders for your physical health, your mental health, and everything else in your life. But also, it's not the magic bullet that people think it is. And I think that extreme weight loss really opened up a lot of other cans of worms for me mentally that I did not have the proper resources to sort out after I had weight loss surgery. And that's like one of my biggest regrets, is not being in consistent therapy after I had weight loss surgery. But I will be in consistent therapy if I start a GLP-1, and so that will be very helpful. Don't disagree with everything that this TikTok said, but I also think a lot of it can just go back to, you can change your weight if you want to, if you're that unhappy, you're living the way that you are as a bigger person. So yeah. Okay, on to the next one.
Feel the need to address the skinny epidemic that we're in. I need to tell you that this video is not coming at anyone in particular. It's not coming at people who take the shots. It's not coming at people who are on a weight loss journey. Your body and what you do with it is none of my business. But this skinny epidemic that we're in is hitting the plus size influencer community so hard. The reason that I feel the need to talk about this now is because I have been getting so many emails from different manufacturers who manufacture GLP-1s. And the emails are always like, we want to be a part of your weight loss journey. Like, let us help you with your weight loss journey. And they want to send me GLP-1s and want me to post about them and post about my weight loss journey with them. First of all, who said anything about a weight loss journey? I know this might come as a shock to a lot of you, but I'm not trying to lose weight. I don't want to lose weight. I genuinely like my body. And that right there is where my issue lies with all of these plus size influencers who are getting on the shot and just losing a ton of weight. Before you had all of this money to buy the shots and to go through the weight loss journey and then to go through surgeries to remove excess skin, you were here on social media preaching body positivity and preaching that women should love and appreciate their bigger bodies and that they should embrace it. When in reality, the second that you got enough money, you went and changed it. So did you ever actually love your body in the first place? Or were you just saying that? Because something we're not realizing is access to GLP-1s and the amount of money that it costs to be on a GLP-1 is not something that the average person can afford. Again, let me reiterate, my issue is not the fact that you're taking a GLP-1, it's not the fact that you're losing weight, it's the fact that you have built this platform and monetized this platform off of body positivity and loving your body, and you have gained followers who truly look up to you and look at you and see their body and know that you have the same body, and immediately when you get money, you go and change it. What kind of message does that send to your followers? Imagine you're a follower who has the exact same body type as you and they've been following you forever and you love your body, so they have started to love their body, and then immediately you go and change it once you have enough money to get on a GLP-1. So they're sitting there like, did she ever actually love our body? Did she ever actually think it was okay to look like we do? Or was she just saying that until she could change it? That's my problem. If you are genuinely not okay and not happy being in a plus size body, do not make a platform and monetize that. And look, not everybody wants to be plus size. Not everybody likes being plus size. Not everybody likes being fat. Not everybody likes being curvy. Whatever you want to call it. Again, Your body is none of my business. But what is my business is when you make an entire platform claiming that you do love your body and that you are plus size and that you're confident and that you're happy in that, and you just lie. Because if you were actually confident in your body, if you actually loved being plus size, you wouldn't feel the need to change it as soon as you got enough money. I know that I've done a lot of rambling in this video, but basically it just feels like we've been lied to. It makes your followers look back on all your videos and question, did she ever actually mean it? Or was she just saying that because she didn't have enough money to get on a GLP-1? And heck, it's even gotten to me. I keep asking myself, like, once I hit a certain amount of followers or start making a certain amount of money from TikTok, do I need to start getting on a GLP-1? I don't want to be on a GLP-1. I've tried a GLP-1, but I didn't like it. And when I tried the GLP-1, I was going through so many side effects and I was just not feeling good. I was like, I would rather be fat and happy than be skinny and miserable. I just don't think it's fair to those of us who are actually trying to send the body positive message because we actually believe in it. It just feels like there's a bunch of phonies out there. Anyways, that is some of my piece on the skinny epidemic. Now for my followers on here, let me assure you, I actually love my body. I'm actually okay with being plus size. Do I have bad body image days? Yeah, but everyone does. I love my husband, but there are days that I don't like him. There are moments that I don't like him. I wouldn't put myself on the internet and constantly face the mean comments that I get every day if it wasn't something that I actually believed in and that I'm actually fighting for. I am so incredibly grateful for this platform, and the last thing that I would ever want to do is make you feel like you've been lied to. My goal on this app is obviously to spread joy and positivity and to maybe help some of you gain some confidence, but also to remind you guys of something that my mom always told me growing up. I remember when I was in high school and I wanted to try out for the dance team, and I told her that I was scared and I didn't want to because everybody on the team was skinny. She told me this: you can do everything that every single one of those girls can do. You just do it in a bigger t-shirt size. You deserve to be in that room, to be on that team just as much as anybody else does. Your weight, your body, your belly is the least interesting thing about you. You have so much more to offer than your body. I love you so much.
So this is probably going to be the last one that we talk about today because it's a bit longer and there's a lot to unpack here. So first off, I agree with what her mom said to her to a point where, like, your body size is like the least interesting thing about you, because I tell people that all the time. I try and tell myself that all the time, okay? Because, like, no matter what size you are, like if you're fat, if you're skinny, whatever, your body size is the least interesting thing about you as a person. And I think as women especially, no, my light died. Oh no. Okay. 1 second. Oh my god. Okay, the amount of like finagling I had to do. I got a new light to be able to do this new setup, and it charges and I forget that I have to charge it, and it died, so I'm sorry. I believe what I was saying before all of that happened was that as women, I think a lot of times it's really easy to forget that our body is the least interesting thing about us because we have been societally conditioned to believe that it is the most important thing or interesting thing about us. And yeah, so I agree with that. So the whole thing with this video is very interesting to me because she's coming at it as, like, she says that she's coming at it from a point of being like, I don't care if you're taking these medicines, I don't care what you're doing, blah blah blah. But then she goes to like talk about them and she calls them things like the skinny epidemic or the shots, which whenever fat activists call GLP-1s the shots, it feels very like anti-vaxxer to me. And so I'm immediately just like turned off from the argument or the conversation. And so, like, to me, her using that kind of verbiage just like makes me very skeptical of the intentions behind this video. Because then again, she goes on to talk about how she doesn't understand that how people who were fat and gained their following off of being fat and body positive and things like that, how they can turn around and go on the GLP-1s, and how it to their audience can seem like they were coming from a very disingenuous place because the second they could get their hands on a GLP-1, they took it. Were they lying just to make money, blah, blah, blah. And we've talked about this a lot on my channel because this has been a conversation in the fat activism world since GLP-1s and Ozempic and things like that have become more widely accessible to people. And I still stand 10 toes down on my opinion that, first of all, this conversation really opens up a deeper conversation about parasocial relationships with people online. And also my opinion on this whole thing is that it's okay for people to change their minds, especially when it comes to their health. I don't want to say that a lot of like body positive content and stuff online when it comes to like plus size people or fat people in like the fashion space or whatever is like a coping mechanism, but at some point I think it does kind of become that. In like, I think a lot of times they're like, well, my body is this size, I can't change it or I don't want to change it, so I'm not going to. So then I'm going to start pushing self-love, body positivity, things like that on the internet because it makes me feel better about my body and it helps people. And I'm not saying that to say that I think that fat creators who have now lost weight with GLP-1s were lying the whole time. I really don't think they are, because like when I was bigger, I never hated my body. I never hated it. I always said that like weight loss for me with my weight loss surgery was just a happy side effect. I was more concerned with what was going on internally, and from any fat body positivity creator that I have seen who has talked about going on a GLP-1, that's kind of the same sentiment that they all carry. It's that something happened internally that made them have a wake-up call about their size, and that's why they're on it now. And so I don't think it comes from a place of like hating their body by any means, and I don't think it makes anything they said before they went on GLP-1s like any less true. I say this because like I follow a few creators who have gone on Ozempic or have gotten weight loss surgery and stuff, and like it all has to do with their health, and it also all has to do with like things that they want to be able to do physically as well. And whenever this conversation comes up too, I always have to bring up it's such a hypocritical take to me from fat activists, because so many fat activists present themselves as being very left-leaning in America, very left-leaning, very pro-choice, very my body, my choice, whatever. But the second that someone they follow makes a decision that's going to probably make them not fat anymore, it becomes everybody else's business. And I feel so bad for people who have made their entire brand like being fat and body positive and like loving your fat body, because if and when something does happen internally because of your body size, I cannot imagine like the mental struggle it would take to make that decision, because your livelihood is attached so strongly to you being fat, right? But like I alluded to earlier, I think this entire conversation, again, goes back to parasocial relationships that we form with people that we follow online, which like I'm guilty of. I think a lot of people are guilty of it, and I don't really fault people for falling into those, because I think it's really easy to do that, especially with like how generally lonely a lot of people are right now, for many reasons. I think this video is like a perfect example of those parasocial relationships, because like the way this creator phrases it, she is talking about like hypothetical audience members of these people who are losing weight, but she phrases it as like, oh, so did they never like our body? And that was like so jarring for me to hear, because like I know that a lot of younger people look up to people online, especially young girls look up to other women online. And I understand that that's something that needs to be taken into consideration for creators sometimes, but like if you are young and if you are looking up to these people, and if they do start losing weight or like changing how they look in any way, I need you to know that like that does not need to change how you feel about yourself, because everybody is their own person, and you may look up to somebody, you may relate to somebody so much, but then if they like start changing the thing that makes them relatable to you, then maybe they're just not the creator for you anymore. And I think that is a bigger conversation to have around social media, in that like people do have to niche themselves down, creators do have to niche themselves down, but like they've been on the internet for any amount of time. But it changes a person, and that might change your niche a little bit, that might change your brand a little bit. And I think the sooner the consumers of this content can learn that and maybe not have such strong parasocial relationships with creators, the better, because like people change and creators are people. And I think that's what makes content creators so much different than people like big celebrities and stuff, and is that a lot of us, like, we are a brand kind of, but we're still people and we still change and our minds still change, and we have to make decisions that help us live the best life we can. And if that makes a creator not someone you can follow anymore, then that's okay. Like, there's still a lot of plus size creators around who do not want to take GLP-1s, which is fine. I've always said, you do what you want to do. Like, I don't care, but just don't like spread lies on the internet about the opposite of what you want to do. I think this just opens up a bigger conversation about parasocial relationships, and maybe that could be a video that I do in the future, kind of using this whole GLP-1 situation with fat activists and formerly fat body positive creators as like a jumping off point. But yeah, and that being said too, talking about body positive creators and stuff like that, and I still stand by that, like, losing weight, getting healthier, however that looks for you and your body, like, that's the most body positive thing you can do. And so like, I don't think staying fat and miserable, if that's how you're feeling, is a body positive thing to do by any means. And yeah. Also, I just want to mention here that like, I know that like it is a privilege to be able to go on GLP-1s, because a lot of times it's not covered by insurance, and I don't even know if it's going to be covered by mine. And if so, I don't know how much it's going to cost. And so that is definitely a factor in me going on them. But at the same time, I hate that this whole video was like, oh, you got money, so then you started to lose weight because you could afford GLP-1s. You don't need a lot of money to lose weight. You do need money to get on GLP-1s most of the time, but like, you don't need a lot of money to lose weight. And so like, I think it's more just this resource has become accessible to people, and so they're using it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've been yapping for an hour, so I'm gonna go. But leave a turkey emoji down below, because American Thanksgiving is this month in November, and if you made it this far. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making it this far if you did. And remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds if you need them, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.